If you could only see the way she loves me, maybe you'd understand why I feel this way about our love.
Now we have to not be
Don't
annoying.
it
For
say?
this is the first time they're listening to us.
Oh shit!
It can't be that.
Hey.
Ugh, God, it annoys me.
Okay.
Bethany
And Sean.
And Sean.
We are a couple of nuts talking.
Like, we often do that. We start with
Probably every
singings.
episode.
Yeah, and I'm annoyed by it. I can't imagine if new people,
I can't help
they'll
if
think
you're,
it's like a karaoke podcast.
you're annoyed by 90s bangers.
No, never.
Was that the Dog's Eye View? No, that was Eagle Eye.
No.
No, that was Dog's Eye View. If you could only...
Dog's Eye View?
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh.
No.
Remember we
First of
talked...
all, that would be Bird's Eye View.
We talked about that before with like the three names.
No,
the
it's
90s
definitely
bands.
three names. Like Three Doors Down,
If you could-
Sister Mary 3.
Oh, that's Tonic.
Thank you.
That's just Tonic.
That's Tonic, honey.
I knew that. That's a
No, you
fucking
didn't.
banger of a song. If you could only see by Tonic.
You knew it, and you were saying Dog's Eye View.
No, that's a band.
What is that
though.
from Sublime's album?
Dog's Eye.
No, it's Bird's Eye View.
Dog's Eye View, rock band. Everything falls apart.
The saying is Bird's Eye View.
I know, but that's why it's like, oh, these guys are goofy.
Oh. What's the name of the song?
It's Everything Falls Apart.
How does it go?
Hold on, let's pause
Everything
this.
fa- I
really- Everything
Falls
falls apart.
Yeah, it's so
again.
Matchbox 20.
Dog's Eye View.
It's a lot of this.
1996, Dog's Eye View. Wait, no, maybe they weren't 96. That was Tonic. Maybe this is turning into a karaoke
No, it's not, because
episode.
I wanted to talk about something.
95. When did Matchbox 20 hit the scene?
Ooh, earlier than that, because they were like
Matchbox.
Third Eye Blind.
Let's see. Their big ass song. No, 3 a.m. was that first.
Wouldn't that be like
No,
93?
No, 95. So they were
Oh.
signing all the bands that sounded like that around that time.
95. Okay.
They were seeing all their head, gun sand, come on, get the hand, oh, sand. They're
I
like,
don't
oh
even
my
know what you're
God.
talking
Exactly. And they're
about.
like, oh my God, we got to sign that shit.
Do you know what they just said? No. Sign them.
Look at those cutie patooties up on stage. That lead singer's just kind
Look
of
at that
does it.
Julius Caesar haircut.
Yeah,
That's
he's-
greased down.
He's got that I don't give a fuck attitude, and he just looks like a little stinker up there with all those little hand movements.
big
Signed.
ass clothing. Yeah.
Signed the dotted line.
Is he a little tiny man under them big shirts?
You know, this is for entertainment purposes only, but there's a rumor that's been going around for quite some time
Oh,
now that
you're gonna
Rob
do-
Thomas of Matchbox 20 has been in a romantic relationship with
Tom
Tom Cruise. That's a thing if you
Hey,
look
I
it up.
told you that so long ago. Can I just tell you something?
That might even be on Google.
Can I tell you something?
I'll look that up.
Okay, I don't even know how long ago. When I first moved here, maybe like 5 years. It's probably around like 2005. Oh, meth head's out.
What up?
Around like 2000. No, I moved here in 2006 or 2006. So I was getting my hair cut by this guy, and it was a referral. It's my first time going there. I'm sitting in his apartment / beauty salon, and in comes this person who hands him like an envelope, and they leave, and they go, "Oh, do you know who that is?" Of course I don't. He was just being like, whatever. Anyways, he's like, that's, I can't remember her name, but Matchbox 20's wife's assistant, like assistant for them or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, you do her hair? And he's like, yeah. And did you know that Rob Thomas is gay with Tom Cruise? That like
Holy shit.
literally said it. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, I do his wife's hair. And like, she totally tells me everything. And I was like, probably shouldn't tell anyone that. And he's like, no one will believe me. And I was like, I go, oddly enough, I believe you. And he was like, oh no, it's straight up.
Yeah.
He's like,
I mean,
she
there's tons of
walked in-
articles on it.
Yeah. He said she walked in on them in their bedroom. She walked in on them.
Yeah.
And she's like, now we just have a situationship. We just have like a, what's that called? Agreement. I couldn't come up with that word.
That's so crazy.
I can't believe it. And by the way, this is entertainment purposes only. Allegedly, who knows? But I mean, he told me that. What is that? Almost 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, the first article that pops up is literally from 2005.
Yeah.
It's 20 years ago. Secret lovers, Tom Cruise and Matchbox 20's Rob Thomas. Secret lovers. No doubt that anyone with an internet connection has read about Tom Cruise being gay. According to rumor lore, he has had a longtime boyfriend in Chicago who is an Asian pilot for American Airlines.
Not sure what being Asian pilot. I don't know.
That's kind of...
Well, maybe they could drive airplanes
Good.
better.
I'm not going to say anything, but I don't trust that. This is an accusation that Cruise, or more importantly, Cruise's many attorneys vehemently deny. Vehemently deny. There have been many stories that supposedly corroborate his sexuality, but never a smoking gun. Rumor mongers attribute this to the fact that Cruise goes to great lengths to cover his track. I believe that.
Oh God, when he was up on that couch on Oprah talking about
that was so
slanty
ridiculous.
face lady,
I used to be in love with her.
Of course, but you could tell he wasn't, because no straight man delivers messages that way about a woman.
He jumped up on the couch. That was crazy.
I mean, it was literally insane.
That was
you know what he was jacked
scary.
up on? That gay drug. What is it? GHB. GHB. I'm dyslexic. That's what he was on. From he just gayed down some bro in the green room, and then came out and lied.
Okay, so
and said it was about, what's that lady's name? The slanty face.
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes.
Man.
You were saying, wait, who? Sorry, because I was trying to find the article. Who were you saying that told you guys about the rumor about Rob and Tom?
No.
A hairdresser.
My hairdresser
did Rob's
wife's hair.
Okay, so here she is.
And it's a long time ago.
Yeah, this article I'm reading. I don't even know. Oh, this is from 2011. This one. Here's where the particular rumors get interesting. Not long ago, Marisol, the wife of Matchbox 20's Rob Thomas, who has had to contend with his own rumors of bisexuality, found her husband in bed with Tom Cruise, causing Cruise's people to shift into high gear. First, Mrs. Thomas was bought off for an undetermined sum. Second, Cruise and his handlers set out to immediately find Cruise a girlfriend,
which was Katie Holmes. Second-tier
actresses were targeted. A list was drawn up with Jessica Alba as the number one pick, and 3 other girls who fell out for various reasons. Originally targeted number 3, I think, but later rejected. This is boring. Lindsay Lohan. Wow, they wanted to set
anyone who already has handlers.
Once the contract was signed,
allegedly,
photo ops were set up, leaks were made to the right places, and a celeb relationship.
And a fake baby was made.
That's awesome. Tom Cruise and Rob Thomas caught in bed. 2000.
I mean, the kid's real. It's just not their baby.
Yeah. For entertainment purposes only.
I mean, who knows, right?
But according to Rob Thomas's wife, according to sources, she walked in on old Rob Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
That would be their name. Rob Tom.
How about just Tob? Or
who
Rom?
Who do you think's the top in that one?
I think Tom.
Tom, little guy.
Yeah.
Little man.
Yeah.
All my short kings.
I don't know, because they're both little, by the way. But I don't know, because...
Are they?
Yeah.
How tall is Rob Thomas?
Just as short. The thing that's interesting is usually when people are a little more dominant in real life.
5'9", Rob Thomas.
Yeah.
What?
Which means 5'7".
What is with all these little dudes running around?
He's 5'7".
Big old superstars.
I'm as tall, if not taller than him.
Holy
and I'm definitely taller than Tom Cruise.
Shit.
You know what? I should tell you the story of when I almost was Tom Cruise's assistant.
Oh, let's hear about it. I didn't know how we got on Tom Cruise, but I'm glad we did.
So
Cruise Control.
It was around this time that I'm talking about, because I had just moved here. And I wish, it's so long ago, and it was such a weird thing. I cannot remember who told me about it. But
about the job?
About the job. Maybe it'll come to me as I tell the story. But regardless, I gave my number to somebody, And they called me. A man called me.
Did you say the year already?
No, I you know me.
Okay.
I don't know, but it was like mid 2000, maybe.
Like
Yeah.
around when him and Rob were outed.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, because it was Kim. What's her name? The tall one, Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
It was their kids,
She used to be so cute. What happened to her face?
and I definitely. Wait, hold on. Let me think. Yeah, because I didn't have to deal with Nicole Kidman's kids at all. It would just have been Sari or whatever.
Oh, that's the cruise.
That's the
Katie
they were
Holmes
still
kid?
together. Yeah, whenever that was. So,
That's not a real kid. Entertainment
No.
purposes only. That's not a real
no,
kid.
I told you it's not them. Okay. So, anyways, I get called. You know, here's the time. Come to our offices. Now the offices are off Ventura by Cahuenga.
Uh-huh.
You know where it like kind of turns into. It's that like all black building that you
Uh-huh.
have to get into through parking gates. And so I went, and I'm gonna I hope I remember everything because it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Babe. So I walk in, I'm left in a room by myself, and so I go from a waiting room, and they put like a doctor, and they put me into another room. There's nothing there, but I sit at a desk, like a school desk,
Uh-huh.
against a wall, facing a door. And there's one other chair in it. And I'm just sitting, obviously, in the chair by the door because I'm not going to sit like in a kid's desk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's adult size, but you know what I mean. So I'm sitting there, and the guy walks in, and, you know, we do our thing. And I was like, I don't really know what kind of assistant you need. But at the time, I was an assistant for many people,
Yeah.
famous people. And I was house sitting for huge people, all this stuff. So I kind of was already in. Like, everyone knew I wouldn't
Right.
say anything.
Once you're in, you're in.
You're in.
Yeah.
And so
I always wonder about that, about how the house cleaner that, you know, is the house cleaner to these people, or the
Always
gardeners
referral.
or the gardeners to these people.
always
or
and only referral. That's it.
they have their people.
Yeah. And you are, what's that word when they filter you out? You're like
Vetted.
vetted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I sit down, and he goes, have a seat. In other words, move your ass to the desk.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. So I stood up, but I was like, I still didn't want to.
Where was this again? What was the building?
It's on Ventura, where Ventura turns to Cahuenga.
Okay.
That there's like
An office building or like a private?
No, it's an office building, the
Okay.
big black one, and then there's like parking gate thingies.
Okay.
That you have to. It's like nothing else looks like it.
Got it.
And it's just in the random place by the highway.
Got it.
So I stood up, and I still didn't feel comfortable sitting in the desk because I hated school.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I stood up, I let him have the chair, and he was like, have a seat. And I was like, it's a weird desk.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys don't have
Already
another
too
chair.
defiant. You're out. You're done.
Well, wait.
You're done.
So he's like, it's like a desk. And he was like, hang on a second. So he leaves. And he had papers in his hand.
Yeah.
And he leaves, and he comes, and another guy comes in. And he goes, have a seat. And I was like, okay. I was like, and then of course I make fun of it, you know, especially that I was like, I'm a comic. I was like, okay. And I don't remember what I said, but I was obviously sarcastic and funny and whatever.
Yeah.
And I made him laugh and whatnot. And he handed me the papers. He's like, look, I'm going to leave you in this room. You're going to be timed.
The hell?
Yeah. And he's like, I want you to finish that test. And I was like, I don't even know what kind of assistant you guys are in need of.
What was on the test?
So hold on.
Okay.
I go, I don't even know what kind of assistant want. He's like, it's an assistant for an A-list. I'm like, I know it's Tom Cruise. Like, I've already been told. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's Tom. And he was like, yeah, well, you don't just become his assistant.
Right.
Right. Like, and he's like, it's a very specific assistant. And I was like, okay. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to pick up his like sex toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Immediately I go to like all these weird things.
One question on there. Are you a fan of Matchbox 20?
Do you like things in your butt?
Right.
Do you care if other people put things in their butt?
Are you good at keeping secrets for closeted gay men?
Yes. Okay.
The secret.
Can you hold a padlock I was
Wait
going to
a
go
minute.
somewhere
What the
gross.
fuck?
Never mind. I was going to say
What?
something else. Hold on. I didn't want to give away this. Okay, so anyways,
Padlock.
so I'm like, fine, and whatever. So I take this test. It's over 100 questions. I can't remember the order now of what test they gave me because there's a lot of them. And so I'm in there, and you know how I am with tests. I'm like, I can't,
Right.
but I'll just pound through it.
You knock them out.
I knock them
You
out.
take them down to pound down.
So I just
like I do to you.
like Rob does to Tom.
Oh, like Rob does to Tom, or Dom does
Allegedly.
to Rob.
Who knows? Okay, go back.
Or
So
Tom does
I
to Rob.
pound it out. I
I
get it
like
all.
to imagine
Shush!
Tom
I'm telling
climbing
a
up.
story.
I imagine Rob
I'm
Thomas being like
telling a
6'3" for
story.
some reason. I don't know why.
Absolutely. With that smushed ass Julius
He
Caesar
looks like a
haircut.
thumb, doesn't he?
He does.
That two
So
little thumbs
stop.
just rubbing on each other.
Stop.
Okay.
So I fill it out. I don't know how long it takes me because, by the way, I have none of my stuff. All my stuff was put in a cubby, and I got to put a little code in.
Fucking cubbies?
A
What is
cubby.
going on here?
So I have nothing with me except the pencil they gave me. It probably so you can't like look up things and whatnot. So anyways, I'm done and I'm sitting in this room. It's already more than 5 minutes and I'm like, okay. So I walk out of the door
Yeah.
and I got the test and I'm like, who do I give this to? Because there's like, it's like a office that don't have closed offices.
Was there other people there for the job interview?
I have no idea. I'm sure there are lots of other rooms
Yeah.
there maybe.
Oh my God.
But all the people that worked at the company were in the middle. They had no windows. They had like open cubbies. So there were desks in the center.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
yeah.
okay. So I walked out and I just go, I'm done. What do I do with this
Yeah.
test? And the guy turns around and he's like, you're done? And he's like, I was like, yeah, like I've been just waiting in there. And he was like, okay, hold on a second. So he goes to this other room, knocks on the door, and the guy comes out and he's like, yeah, he's like, she's done. And he's like, okay. So he comes into the room and he's like, are you sure you finished it? And I was like, I answered all the questions. Yes, here you go. So he's like, okay. And you do it on this like sheet thing where they just throw it into a machine and
Like when you vote.
kind of, yeah, like you just
Yeah.
scribble A, B, C, or D.
Yeah. Oh, it's like those old. Yeah, it's like those old school tests.
Yeah. So it was like a
Wait, so it's multiple questions? Multiple answer, I mean, questions?
yeah, like it gave you options.
Oh, shit.
And so I was done and he was like, go ahead and have a seat in the room. I'll be right there. I was like, okay. So he must have ran it through something, got his answers, and he came back in and he's like, I don't know if you're going to be for this assistant, but I want you to come back tomorrow.
Okay.
And I was like, but like, do I have a job? And
Right.
he's like, we're actually not done. And I was like,
What the fuck?
okay. So I leave. I come back the next day.
Yeah.
I also thought, by the way, this was part of it because you have to be places on time.
On time. Very,
All the time.
Very
So
punctual.
it was like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
of
but
me.
what were some of the questions?
Well, this is what I mean. I'll just give you an overview when I'm done so I don't lose what I'm saying because I
Okay.
can't remember which order. I don't remember things like that. But this one was a very, I'll put it this way. It was an IQ test.
Sure.
It was an IQ test for sure.
You want smart assistants.
I don't know.
Or no, or you probably
Oh,
want...
wait, no. So, see, that's what I mean. I ruined it. The IQ test was the last test.
Okay.
This was a, like, question-answer test.
That's what I was wondering. What were some of the questions on there?
Yeah, it was just, like, common sense.
Okay.
Okay. Very easy, like, stuff. So, the second time I come, I'm on time, put my stuff in a cubby, puts me in a different room, a much bigger room, still only a desk, only have a pencil, hands me another test. Leaves. I do this test. This test is very much a personality test.
Yeah.
Hands down. And it's a lot of fucking questions. I mean, hundreds. Like, I want to say like 300 questions.
Oh, God, Tom.
Where it's like, if you found a wallet and you looked inside and it was like.
You know what
these-
this is, though? This
What?
isn't even Tom. This is Tom's people
Yeah.
doing just getting a paycheck somehow. Essentially, like, frauding him out of money, charging him
Kind
for
of.
certain things and making their job, having a job for kind of the way our government runs, giving the job to somebody else to get these questions together and then so on and so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this isn't insane.
Yeah.
To cost the amount this must cost to just get in is to
well, they
hire
didn't have
somebody.
to pay me to like I'm doing all this.
But
by
I
no
know
money.
not you. I'm talking about the team put together to vet people.
Yeah.
And you have to have office space. They have to have the tests. They have to. That's crazy.
I mean, whether you know this or not, he's part of Scientology, and I know that there were Scientology
that's
stuff
what they're saying. Rob
happening.
Thomas's ex-wife, was
Yeah.
a Scientologist.
So there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions about that?
Not yet, but
Okay.
there will be. And so I went through the whole thing, and it's I mean I can't toot my own horn, but you're my husband. Do you feel like I'm an honest person?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I answered again. I whipped right through it. It was like nothing.
Yeah.
I gave him the thing, and he came back in with somebody else, and they did like an interview with me. Weird. Giving kind of like scenarios. If this happened, what would you do?
Yeah.
Kind of things. I wish I remembered. It all happened really fast, and they don't tell you what's coming, so you're just kind of like,
Sure.
And so he was like, all right, we're going to need you to come back tomorrow afterwards. By the way, they don't tell you in the room. You leave, and then they call you, and they tell you, like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll have you back, whatever. So I came back again for a third time, all in the same week. I sat in a different room with the desk. Our meth man is just really feeling himself right now and has the music going.
He was looking up at his apartment to try to get his attention.
Yeah, that's what he does it for. So anyways, I go in, I take another test. Now it's I get asked about Scientology. Not forthright. They
Sure.
don't say this is about Scientology. They ask me about my beliefs. They ask me about what I feel other people, just like kind of roundabouting it.
Yeah.
And if something interests me that perhaps I haven't thought about, what I think about joining. So basically,
Right.
they're trying to see if
You got to be a Scientologist to be Tom Cruise's assistant.
maybe I don't.
I think you do.
So I was like, at the time, I was, not where I am today, but I was like, I don't know if it sounds good. Yeah. Like,
Oh, honey, I was there at one point. I was
Yeah.
checking it when and it
Well, I
seemed
wasn't-
it seemed kind of like because they're like against medications
Right.
and all that. I was like, oh, this is cool.
this is
Like, I'm
right.
into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And seemed very community based.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So I just
Kind of like a
answered
cult.
yeah,
Not to say that they are a cult,
but looks pretty
but
sus.
it's pretty culty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you said you weren't a cult, but were a cult as close as you possibly could,
Yeah.
that would be Scientology.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Ooh, careful.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
For entertainment purposes.
Right.
Whatever I gotta say.
Right.
Whatever I gotta say.
Right. Yeah.
So anyways, so I come back the third time. I'm in another room. And this is when I get an IQ test. And IQ test, if you remember
Baby's a
or
genius.
not,
Just fucking nailed that
they're my
shit.
favorite. Like, I enjoy them.
I
I
know.
love it. And he handed it to me, and you can tell an IQ test right away because there's usually pictures and like scenarios. And so he handed it to me, and I went, oh. And he was like, you like tests? And I was like, I love IQ tests. And he was like, okay, well, you have, and he started a timer. There was like a thing. And I was like, cool, let's go. So I did it. I finished it way in time. The timer's off. I'm just sitting there, because you don't have it. You don't have a phone. You don't have anything.
Yeah.
So he came because he told me to stay in the room until the buzzer went off. So he took the test for me, and he was like, all right, we will get back to you. And he goes, just so you know, you've made it very far.
Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah. And he was like, we like what we're seeing. He goes, we were going to have you come in as it was like I don't remember what it's called, but it's something nanny. Basically, I would go and pick up his kids or kid, mainly the main kid, but he also said that he would like me to do the other kids.
He has
as
those
well.
two other ones. They're adopted. I didn't know.
Nicole Kidman's were?
One of them's black, and the other one's just this kind of really.
Oh, I didn't know that. So anyways,
yeah.
like, and he was like, we'll get back to you. And I was like, great. So in other words, he made it sound like I basically have a position. I don't know what it's going to be, but right now what they were hiring for is still on the table for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. So like a day goes by, another day goes by. And remember, I'm getting called like day of, or the first day where he's like, you're going to come back tomorrow kind of thing. and I wasn't hearing from him. So I remember it was a Friday for some reason. I got called on a Friday, so it could have very well been like 5 days, like days from, a whole nother week went by. And he called me and he goes, we're struggling to find where to put you, but we would like to have you. And I was like, okay. He goes, and again, I don't remember it all. It's so long ago, and it was so like jaw-dropping, the experience. But he basically said that my IQ, like the way I tested, was too high to be what they're hiring for.
Right.
And he was like,
you need someone manipulatable or malleable or whatever it is.
And basically what he said without saying it was, you're not going to conform to what we need. And like, for instance, on the personality test, a lot of the questions are like, if you see something wrong, are you going to go tell somebody? What do you think my answer is?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
I don't think that fares well for anyone in the entertainment business.
Right. No. A lot of secrets.
Right. But I think what they liked about me was my IQ and my honesty. And then they were like, what do we do with that? And I to be honest, don't remember what happened after that, but it was like all a little bit too weird for me.
Yeah.
And I basically told them no. And I also told them outright, like, not going to join Scientology either. So, like, that wasn't the thing. But
I've
like
heard
I said,
not so great things about that.
Yeah.
I've seen some specials on that.
Yeah. But that's all, as far as this podcast is concerned, it's all entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
It's, a figment of my imagination.
So you
at
were
this
still
point.
probably really early on, though, because I picture it goes and it goes and it goes. And then the last interview is like in a airport hangar.
No.
Dark, all lights are off.
I mean, I went 4 or 5 times.
You walk into this big, empty, dark room. There's a chair with a figure sitting in it, and it's Lil Cruz. And you sit down, and he flicks the little light on by him.
No.
Hello, Bethany.
To be honest, too, I didn't want to deal with his kids. Like, that wasn't what I thought.
I don't think he does either. I think they
was
adopted
doing.
these kids from looking at it. I had no idea about Tom Cruise and Nicole
Yeah.
Kidman. I like their movies.
Yeah.
Fine. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, actually. I like almost everything Tom Cruise does.
Think about this. Do you know how much they work? And then when you see behind the scenes, do you ever see their children?
Right, no.
Never.
So apparently they adopted these kids, but
So did Madonna, okay?
It appears to be like that they just got them just to put off the persona that they're a family. Look at
Correct.
We have these kids and we're married and stuff like that.
Nicole Kidman is not popping anything out of those
No.
man hips.
No, and it looks like they don't really. But apparently they followed Tom into Scientology, the 2 kids.
Yeah.
They're,
I don't know. I just know it was all wackadoodle weird. I put in a lot of
Course it
energy.
was.
I would say it was a process. It was a lot of test taking. It was more than what I'm even saying because I just want to give at least what I actually remember.
Yeah.
But like I said, it went on, for at least 2 weeks, if not more. And,
Now,
I eventually was just like, I'm over this shit.
Yeah.
Like this.
Do you think that any of the Matchbox 20 songs are about Tom Cruise?
Yes, I do.
3 a.m.
Yes, because
3 a.m. I must be lonely. Tom Cruise.
Or he means at 3 a.m. when he comes home from work, he'll sleep with his wife, but because he's lonely even though she's there because he really wants to be with Tom.
No, babe.
Mm-hmm.
3 a.m. is the witching hour. That song's probably.
That's
I'm going to
true.
look these
Look
lyrics
up the
up real quick.
lyrics.
Oh, man. And I said, baby,
Baby.
it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely.
3 a.m.
That's
What do you think you are, Will?
Matchbox 20. And what the hell does Matchbox 20 even mean, Rob Thomas?
Are there 20 matches in a book usually? I would guess.
Maybe.
I think there are.
She said it's cold outside, and she hands me my raincoat. She's always worried about things like that.
Oh, that's sweet. See, it's about his wife.
Well, she said it's all going to end, and it might as well be my fault. What the fuck, dude?
I got chills.
And she only sleeps when it's raining, and she screams, and her voice is straining. What the fuck, babe? I'm being serious.
I know.
She says, baby, it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Okay, so during the witching hour, he's killing her. And she says, baby, well, I can't help but be scared of it all sometimes, and that rain's going to wash away. I believe it.
Oh, the rain's going to wash away all their, like, demons and lies?
Well, she's got a little bit of something. God, it's better than nothing.
Hold on. We put the word God in there.
Yeah.
Say it again. What's the line?
Well, she's got a little bit of something. God, it's better than nothing.
Whoa.
She's got a little bit of God?
A little
That's
bit
what
of
he's saying.
God.
Okay.
And it's better than nothing.
And in her color portrait world, she believes that she's got it all.
Oh, so on this plane, this dimension.
She swears the moon don't hang quite as high as it used to.
Oh, that's a big one because, you know.
It doesn't.
But it doesn't. And do you know me personally what I think about the moon?
The
How
moon's
it's
really
not.
close. It's local.
Well, it's always been local.
Okay.
But the moon has not been here forever.
Maybe that's what they're saying. And she only sleeps when it's raining, and she screams.
Again?
Screams, and her voice is straining. She says, baby, well, it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Well, heaven, she says, baby, yeah, well, I can't help but be scared of it all
Wait,
sometimes.
go back to the heaven line.
Well, heaven, she says, baby, yeah, well, I can't help but be scared of it all sometimes, and the rain's going to wash away. I believe this. Okay, well, she believes that life isn't made up of all that you're used to, and the clock on the wall has been stuck at 3 for days and days. She thinks that happiness is a mat that sits on her doorway, but outside it stopped raining. She said, baby, well, it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Heaven, she says, baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sean,
well, I
seriously, if I love you and I can't handle it, I don't want to put them through
This
this.
just was stupid, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Stupid
No.
singing episode.
We thought, well, that part, yeah. But first of all, I love breaking down these songs now because when you're a kid listening to them, you're like, yes.
Yeah, I had that
And
CD. I
then-
love that
yeah.
CD.
And then, or
First
like
few
Third
songs
Eye
on it.
Blind, when you listen. See, now I knew what, like, when I was a kid going, that stuff he was saying.
Smoke a crystal method, I'm not going to
Yes.
gotta get down. Yeah,
But
every
now,
song.
as an adult, I'm like, what in the
I
actual
know.
hay was I singing about? Like, basically committing offings on a bridge. Isn't that what one of them's about?
I don't even know.
Yeah, a ton of them about drugs. Like, insane.
Honey, when I was a kid, I used to be
Or like
fucking-
Sublime.
I used to be in elementary schools. Ooh,
I
wanna sex you up. Or you down with
Yeah.
OPP, yeah, you know me.
me.
All about fucking.
Right. Or what about Salt and Pepper? Push it.
Yeah.
Push it real good. It's like,
Rob and
oh my
Tom.
God.
I was just
Push it.
singing it.
Right. Same.
Oh,
Oh,
my
there was
God.
this song. What is it? Hold on. Fudge Cookies. It's a lady singing it.
Fudge cookies?
Yeah, there's a lady singing
That
it, and
sounds
it's like
good.
sex, and she's like, and it's I used to be lovers. Oh, it's
Be
got-
my
no,
lover.
no, no, no. It was,
You gotta lick
no,
it
I don't like those.
so we can kick it.
No, you'll be my lover. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
Wanna be
not
my
in your-
lover.
No, it's not in this genre that you're doing.
Look at
It
you.
is
Look
like,
at you spiraling, spinning
Oh,
out,
I'm
being mean right now. Yeah,
hungry.
we got to eat something.
yeah,
Well, this was fun.
this was fun.
I guess this episode was a cruise control episode. We were on complete cruise control. Talking about,
We lit this on fire with the match. Just
yeah, Matchbox 20. You know, for entertainment purposes only, Rob Thomas and Tom Cruise were in a sexual relationship with each other.
and yeah, that's how you have to be an assistant. Allegedly, entertainment purposes only. I made it all up.
You got to keep that on the down low if you want to be Tom. I remember hearing those stories about John Travolta. What are we talking about
Oh, yeah.
celebrities for? But I remember John Travolta. Remember one guy, it was at a massage, and like John would just reach up and like grab genitals. Like he's that guy. He'll just grab you
Yeah.
and get your mind. I'm going to take your cock and balls and suck them.
Wow.
I'll give you a suck.
Well, if you close your eyes, you can enjoy it at
Hole's
least,
a
and then
hole.
sue later.
I would imagine Travolta giving a great blowjob because he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
All right.
He's got them big ass lips, right?
He looks like the sucker.
And he's got a big mouth.
Yeah, he's a sucker.
And his hair is fake, so he'd be like a smooth head.
He's a little bigger. He's got a belly. For some reason, I imagine him giving the suck. And he's got like, you ever seen those rubber band ball clamp
Yes.
things? I imagine his balls being fucking just being squoze
Mm-hmm.
real tight. And his forgive the vulgarness here, nuts, but his dick just being like bright red. Got a tiny dick for sure because he's a tiny guy. So he's got a little pecker, probably all head.
He's not tiny.
I think Travolta's short, honey. I think he's got a tiny little.
Is Uma in Pulp Fiction taller than him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, she towers over him.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably got a little shaft, big mushroom head, but it's just bright red because he's got that ball clamp tie around it. I just imagine him dipping it in ice.
You know what's interesting? If I close my eyes and I think about him, which is never, it's the first time.
Never, ever.
The first visual I get of his dick is actually the opposite. I find the girth only near fupa, and then it almost looks like a triangle.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
at the
what I
base.
get.
It's
It's
all
just,
at
he's all
the
base.
base.
He's all boop, boop, boop.
So that's why he
base.
puts this rubber band around
Right,
it probably
to
to
give the
fucking
dick-
squeeze it forward.
right, head
and then he's
girth.
dipping it in a cup of ice
He
water.
wants his dick to be able to wear a hat.
I picture him cooling his nuts off in the ice water while he's giving a nice suck to a nice of age young man, I would imagine. Probably just turned 18.
That's sweet of you. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about that.
Just turned 18. He probably has the same vetting process. Not
I'm
as like
sure.
intensive as, but he's a Scientologist, isn't
Yes.
he?
Mhm.
So not as intensive as Tom Cruise, but he definitely vets young men. Probably start grooming them in their sophomore years in high school, and then when they get to this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not saying this happens at all. I'm totally making all of
We
this up.
love
by
to
the
make
way,
shit
nuts.
up. This is all made up.
But I imagine, that is John Travolta's
You're just.
gig.
Here's the thing that worries me a touch: how much you've thought this out.
The thing is like you just said, I actually used to get mistaken for John Travolta.
I know you told me.
Not or
that.
not
I
mistaken.
can't.
One time I was at the LA Zoo and this guy was walking by. This is when I was young.
It's
I was
unbelievable.
like 18. He's like, "Oh my God, sir, stop! You look exactly like Johnny." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Johnny Travolta. You know who that is?" And I was like, "Of course I know who John Travolta." He's like, if they ever make a movie about him, you play a young version of him."
Okay.
Blue eye. He has blue eyes.
He doesn't look anything.
He's
like
got a
you.
butt chin.
There's nothing about him that I find attractive.
Don't
and
look
I
anything
married
like
you.
Travolta.
Yeah.
What are you
Nothing.
talking? I had another guy tell me I look like Benicio del Toro once.
No.
Like, what the fuck is that all about?
He looks like he's been in 800 MMA fights.
Yeah.
Benicio.
Is that what
And
I'm looking like?
Zero.
Damn.
You
That's-
got a pointy nose. None of these people have pointy noses.
What are they talking about?
I don't know. The closest one that I think you do is Jack White. But even that, if you didn't have a beard.
Babe, I used to get Jack White.
Honey,
Crazy
I know,
when
but
I
this
dyed
isn't
my
the-
hair.
This isn't the Sean show. This isn't like, who does Sean look like? Like, I feel like, weren't we going to end and eat
Yeah, let's
lunch?
go eat some hot dogs.
Thank
Nuts, thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope we have a great day, great night, great week, great morning, great life. We love you.
Stay nutty, everybody.
Bye for now.
Kimpses.
Kimpses.
Bethany
Bethany
and Sean.
and Sean.
We are a couple of nuts talking